every Fed location, we're protesting your private banking cartel and your criminal activity. And Congress, every committee, the House Banking and Senate Banking Committee, are openly discussing criminal charges on Bernanke and Treasury Secretary Paulson. The Federal Reserve is a parasitic criminal organization, and we're here exposing you.
Tell them what you think, Alex.
For the first time in over 70 years, Congress is talking about how you're a pack of criminals, talking about how you're a pack of anti-American, European, blood-sucking bankers. We're going to abolish your private Federal Reserve, and we're going to get our country back. You know what these guys did, the private Federal Reserve, in 1933 with the Emergency Powers Act? You know what they did? They made all our grandparents and great-grandparents turn their gold in for paper money, and the private bankers openly stole it. These are the New World Order criminals! The Federal Reserve is a private banking cartel and a criminal organization. These are the bloodsuckers engineering the depression we're going into. These are the bloodsuckers that claimed they were going to bail out the houses and stole not $700 billion, but $5 trillion in 5 weeks. The Federal Reserve is a criminal organization, and at 38 locations nationwide, the American people are putting you on notice, criminals, that you will be brought to justice. There are protests against your private criminal banking cartel in all 38 of your parasitic, wicked, anti-American locations. And your greedy banker masters have stolen $5 trillion in the last 5 weeks from the Treasury with your criminal banker takeover bill. Now, as the depression unfolds, the people are going to let the rest of the population know that you stole all the money. You know who owns this? The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and less than 15 other criminal families. This Federal Reserve is as federal as Federal Plumbing and Federal Express. This Federal Reserve controls the issuance of currency and liquidity. This is the group that created $1.5 quadrillion, or $1,500 trillion in derivatives that they use to buy up the world's infrastructure, and now they want to pin that debt on us. Now they're creating a depression so they can use all the money they've hoarded to buy up the infrastructure. Criminals of the Federal Reserve and your private board of governors, you are on notice. You and the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, and all of your allied crime organizations, the mafia bosses of the New World Order are on notice. We declare war on your criminal activities. It was 45 years ago today, months after President Kennedy signed the executive order to issue U.S. notes and to begin the process of abolishing the Federal Reserve, that the Federal Reserve had President Kennedy killed 1.5 miles from here at Dealey Plaza. President Kennedy was going to abolish the Federal Reserve. He signed an executive order to abolish the Federal Reserve, and 1.5 miles away from here, the crime bosses of the Federal Reserve had their CIA hitmen murder John F. Kennedy. That's another reason we're here putting you on notice, criminals, that we're not going along with you and your orchestrated depression that you're bringing in right now to the United States and worldwide so you can bankrupt everybody and vertically integrate the economy. You have cornered the American people. You are raping the American people financially. You draw our blood over and over again. You tax us to pay your private Federal Reserve to expand your worldwide empire. And now you want to fully rape the American people, and we're here to tell you we're not going along with it, criminals. You know, when they had the real G20 County meeting. Earlier this year, I was in Chantilly at the Bilderberg Group meeting when Richard N. Haas and Bernanke and the Defense Secretary and the rest of you criminals were meeting, setting up the depression you're now bringing in to fruition. And we're showing the world online and in films and on radio who the real criminals are and who it is that's causing all their financial pain. So again, you have been put on notice, criminals, that we are fully aware of your activities, and we are going to abolish the Federal Reserve, the private Federal Reserve, and we're going to push that your Board of Governors be indicted and go to federal prison for your criminal racketeering. You might as well go ahead and come out. You might as well go ahead and come out with your hands up and turn yourself over to these police and go ahead and plead guilty on the rest of your cohorts, and then we might go easy on you. It's time for you to turn state's evidence now, private criminals over the Dallas Federal Reserve Branch. It's time for you to come out and admit that you are a pack of low-down, money-changing thieves that have seized control of our nation and our treasury since 1913.
That's right.
This nation was built without you. And this nation's been going to hell ever since you got control of it. Our founding fathers fought against you. Andrew Jackson fought against you. George Washington fought against you. The founders fought against you. JFK fought against you. But you're facing an enemy you can't defeat, and that's the American people. For over 150 years, we defeated you. We stopped you for close to 200 years. But now you've taken over the country and you're running it straight down to hell. And that's why we're here to tell you that we are going to resist your financial terrorism, your financial 9/11 that you are carrying out against the people of the United States and the people of the world. And I want to salute the men, the women, the children that are here today in Dallas and at 38 criminal federal locations, criminal Federal Reserve locations across the country, standing up bravely and with honor against your tyranny. And more, the words of Ron Paul in Congress and many other people worldwide and in our own government are pointing out that you are a pack of criminals, that you are the enemy, that you are orchestrating the financial collapse. You are being identified for the cancer you are, and you will fall, you will fail, you will be removed. You are a den of vipers, and by God, we will all rout you out.
We're not your slaves.
That's right. We are not your slave. We are not your slaves. And by God, you are a den of vipers. You will be routed out. The answer to 1984 is 1776. You hear that, you pack of criminals? The answer to 1984 is 1776. You are a den of vipers, and by God, we will rout you out. The private Federal Reserve will fall. It will end. You're fired, you pack of private banker hijackers, you counterfeiters masquerading as a U.S. bank. You are a private group of criminals.
Losers.
And the Fed. And the